Disclaimer: English is not my first language, and while I try to fact check everything, occasional mistakes in pronunciation, small details, or both may and will slip through. Thanks for understanding. We all know elephants: majestic, intelligent, beautiful creatures roaming the African savanna. But they weren't always the towering giants we see today. In fact, their story begins with much humbler origins. Today, I'd like to introduce you to Phiomia, a small elephant-like creature that lived during the Oligocene epoch, roughly 37 to 30 million years ago. Most Phiomia fossils consist of jaw fragments and teeth. Complete skeletons are extremely rare, which makes reconstructing its full appearance and lifestyle a challenge for paleontologists. The first known fossil was discovered in 1901 by Charles William Andrews and Hugh John Llewellyn Beadnell. They unearthed a partial lower jaw in the Jebel Qatrani Formation in the Fayum region of Egypt, which was a lush lake-filled landscape during the Oligocene, which is where the genus name Phiomia is derived from. Phiom, an ancient Greek word for lake, was a fitting tribute to the region's watery past and the creature's likely semi-aquatic lifestyle. Interestingly, Andrews and Beadnell initially misclassified the fossil. They placed it in the now defunct order Creodonta, thinking it might have been a carnivore. Creodonta turned out to be a polyphyletic group, meaning it lumped together animals that didn't share a common ancestor. Eventually, the order was abandoned in modern taxonomy. Upon re-examination, Andrews noticed that Phiomia shared key features with early elephants, especially in its jaw structure, tusk arrangement, and nasal cavities. These traits aligned it more closely with Paleomastodon, another early proboscidean, and helped establish Phiomia as part of the Proboscideae order, the group that includes all elephants. Phiomia was relatively small compared to modern elephants. It measured about 3 meters or 10 feet in length, stood around 2.5 meters or 8.2 feet tall, and likely weighed around 500 kilograms. Its body was more compact and somewhat pig-like, with a shorter trunk than today's elephants, based on its nasal bone structure. In regards to appearance, Phiomia had thin, curved upper tusks, which likely were used for defense or stripping bark from trees. In another vein, its flat, shovel-like lower tusks were likely adapted for digging up roots and aquatic plants or soft vegetation. Its tusks hint at versatile feeding strategies suited to a swampy habitat that it likely inhabited. During the late Eocene to early Oligocene, the region where Phiomia lived was a lush, swampy environment filled with lakes and wetlands. This suggests that Phiomia was at least semi-aquatic, much like modern hippos or tapirs. It's also possible that Phiomia retained aquatic traits from its ancestor Moratorium, which was known to be semi-aquatic and resembled a hippo in both lifestyle and appearance. Phiomia's evolution from Moratorium likely explains its body shape and tusk adaptations. Phiomia represents a crucial step in elephant evolution. It was more advanced than earlier proboscideans like Moratorium, but not quite as specialized as later giants such as Paleomastodon or Gomphotheris. It shows early adaptations that would later define modern elephants, such as trunk development, tusk use, and a gradual shift towards a more terrestrial lifestyle. So while Phiomia itself may not be the most interesting or amazing creature to ever exist in the fossil record, it's a gentle and subtle reminder that even the largest giants today had humble beginnings. And I feel the need to add, for ARK players out there, no, there's no fossil evidence that Phiomia was a poop machine. On that note, thank you all so much for watching the video. It was my very first one, and I'm practicing when I talk about creatures that have way more fossil evidence to be talked about, or lifestyle traits, or even just anything we know more about, basically. Um, I'd probably make longer videos, but I felt like Phiomia was overall relatively not that well known. So, yeah, this is a short video, but I felt like it was a good start. So, I hope you enjoyed learning about this little elephant with me, And I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.